When hearing or speaking the phrase, "this changed my life," I think it's a tendency, at least for me, to picture a lightning bolt moment. I did this thing one time and became a radically different person overnight. Or this one habit completely transformed my health, relationships, time management, whatever it is. I think we're drawn to transformation, before and afters, a clear set of steps from point A to point B. And while I don't think that's a bad thing, I am becoming more and more convinced that the vast majority of our lives is spent in between, in the becoming. Today, I want to share a set of some simple habits that have been instrumental for me in this season of becoming. Things that are actively changing me the more I come back to them. The first habit that has made a huge impact over the last few months has been choosing ritual over routine, particularly in my mornings. This video is focused on repeated behaviors, but the one-time decisions certainly make an impact too. And of all of the kind of overnight shifts I've made, quitting my morning routine was one of, if not the most powerful. As someone with perfectionist black and white tendencies, something that should have been a healthy framework to rely on and relieve stress ended up making me feel like I had to perform from the very first moment that I opened my eyes. And that was really unpleasant. Since deciding that I no longer wanted to stick to a routine, I've kind of developed an informal set of peaceful morning rituals, rhythms and behaviors that I know will ground me in what matters, feel energizing and restorative, and help me start my day really well. This isn't something I structure. In the mornings, I just kind of pick and choose what fits with the time that I have available to me, with the weather that I have available to me, and with what I really feel like I need to start my day. Something I feel like I'm continually wrestling with is how do I set healthy boundaries around my digital life? Technology is a huge part of our world and my day-to-day. And while I am incredibly grateful for all of the benefits and opportunities and connections that it's given me, I also know how easy it is to have it rule your life unintentionally. I feel like I'm in a good place now, although I think it will be an ever-evolving journey. But something that I wanted to share that's made a huge difference for me has been implementing a practice called parenting your phone. I first heard about this from John Mark Comer, who is a favorite author of mine. The idea is that a really simple way to introduce boundaries with your technology is to take the responsibility of actually putting your phone to bed and waking it up in the morning, and making those time frames different from when you do those things. I intentionally charge my phone in our kitchen. I don't want it in the bedroom, and every day I plug it in before I go to bed. I used to do this right before I would actually crawl in myself, but now if I'm not leaving the house, I'll usually do this right when I start cooking dinner. I rarely need it in the evenings, and having it out of sight and easy reach has really helped create a rhythm of phone-free evenings. Similarly, when I get up in the morning, I'll usually wait to grab my phone until I have had breakfast, I've had coffee, spent some time with my husband, maybe gone for a walk. I'm not really rigid with a specific time on this just because my schedule changes so much day to day, but it's a really simple structure to add to your routine, and I have really loved it. In my experience, one key to a slower life is making less decisions. The average adult makes up to 35,000 decisions a day, and the fatigue is so very real. You know, just saying make less decisions sounds very vague and ambiguous and not generally all that helpful. So specifically, something I have changed to make less decisions is minimizing my wardrobe so I can pick my clothes from fewer options. I first started my capsule wardrobe saga with Project 333 last fall, and I have worked my way to a 14-item summer capsule wardrobe that I am obsessed with. I genuinely feel great in every single outfit I wear, which has done wonders for my confidence and made my mornings so fun and simple. Narrowing down my closet has also helped me really identify my personal sense of style, as well as what looks and feels best on my body. I'm actually going to be posting a walkthrough of my summer capsule wardrobe, probably the next video that you see from me. So if that's something that you want to watch, definitely make sure to subscribe so you don't miss that when it drops. Getting dressed wasn't something I exactly dreaded before, but given that it's something I do every day, over the course of a lifetime, that adds up to be pretty significant. And until very recently, I was spending even 10 to 15 minutes a day trying to put together an outfit that I hoped to feel medium good in. It now takes me about 30 seconds, and I honestly feel really cute every day. Maintenance declutter is one habit I have struggled to wrap my head around. I feel most comfortable with tasks that fit easily on a to-do list, something I can accomplish once and revisit never or rarely. Alas, most of adult life does not work like that. Taxes come every year, kitchen's dirty every day, and clutter has a way of piling up even when you don't mean it to. There are two ways I implement decluttering as a habit to keep things from getting too extreme. First is that on a daily basis, I try to do a tidy of our home. I am not a tidy person by nature. This is something I am working on, not something I have down. Typically once a week, usually on Sunday afternoons, Zach and I will set aside 20 to 30 minutes and we will speed clean the house all together. So if there's anything that got missed during the week, it gets done during that time. And then probably like every 2 to 3 months, I have been going through our whole home, pulling out things that we are not using or finding value in, anything we're ready to part with. I actually just did this last week and I filmed it. I'll put the video somewhere on the screen. Doing this regularly really keeps things from piling up too much, and it's also made it easier to keep tabs on things that we were maybe unsure about. There are a number of items that the last time we did a maintenance declutter were kind of in the maybe pile. I was leaning towards getting rid of them, but still feeling a little bit conflicted. So I would kind of keep it in the back of my mind over a couple months, and then the next time I go to do a declutter, if we still haven't used it, it's usually easier for me to let it go. Intentionally prioritizing the atmosphere of our home has been a new habit for me this year, and it's one of my favorites. More and more, I'm realizing how deeply impacted I am by my environment. This is a huge part of why I've been leaning into minimalism. And in addition to creating a clean canvas, I want to cultivate the environment in our home to be inviting, a space we actually want to be in. I've been doing this with little things like lighting candles at the dinner table and trying to have fresh flowers on the counter. I've been loving using our record player when we want a little background music. Let me tell you, cleaning the kitchen is a very different experience when you're listening to an album on vinyl. Those little atmospheric additions, even though they're so small on their own, have made a really significant difference in my day-to-day. In this chapter, I've been really focused on learning how to be present, both feet into my own life. And this has helped me not only exist in those mundane moments, but actually delight in them. The last habit I want to share is one that I have been trying to figure out how to share for a little while, and that is seizing opportunities for joy. I have found that it is so easy to miss the best moments in life, largely because a lot of them are really simple. A few weeks ago, I had this moment where we had just finished dinner and I was about to start cleaning up the kitchen, and I looked outside and the light was perfect. It was a warm summer evening, just like the kind of weather I could sit in for the rest of my life and never get tired of it. Our whole yard looked golden. And I thought to myself, well, this sucks, because by the time I'm done cleaning the kitchen, the light will be gone, it's gonna be getting cold. and I'm not gonna wanna go sit outside. And I started to do the dishes and then I just stopped and went, why am I doing the dishes right now? What difference does it make if I do them in an hour? If I'm honest, I think I have mostly viewed joy as something to be earned, something to be experienced only when any and all work has been completed, when there is nothing else in the world that you possibly could or should be doing. And wow, looking back, I think that has held me back from experiencing some really important times in my life. I've been hesitant to talk about this because honestly, it's kind of been a big thing for me to process. This is one of those things where I feel like either I'm gonna get a bunch of comments from people saying, I totally relate to this, or a bunch of people saying, what's wrong with you? And I'm not really sure which way it'll go. But I wanted to share because for about 6 weeks, I have been trying to make a conscious shift to seize the opportunities for joy, to feel okay about enjoying my life and the good gifts that I've been given and the sun in my yard. I have been reminded that if my goal is truly to live a life focused on what matters most, then it has to include this, because on some level, this is part of what we're made for. On that note, it's actually another pretty perfect evening right now. So I think that we are gonna head out for a walk. Even though there's a voice in my head telling me I really should get to editing, but this light isn't gonna last very long and life is short. Thank you all so much for joining me and coming with me as I shared these simple living habits that are changing my life. I would love to know if there's any that you have tried, or if there's anything that particularly resonated with you in this video, or if you have any other habits that you would love to suggest to me or someone else in the comment section. I'm so deeply grateful for each and every one of you. I love making videos and just getting to document this time of transformation and growth in my life. It feels like such a privilege. So thank you so much for being here. I hope you have a good day, because today is a good day to have a good day. And I'll see you in my next video. That's it. Bye.